I've seen quite a few videos out there on the coverage of the FBI's top 10 most wanted list, but I can't say I've seen the top most wanted by the US Secret Service until now. And there's also a top most wanted list, by the way, for the US Marshals, too, but that's maybe for another video. But here's the list. It's on secretservice.gov/investigations/most wanted. And I already started with the first name. That's why it's at the end of the URL there. And it starts with the first one is Sergey, with a name that I can't pronounce, as well as any other name on this list. But looking through the list, something kind of stands out a little. They all appear to be Russians. So if you're thinking that we might ally ourselves with Russia in the coming years, the United States Secret Service might say otherwise. I mean, not that they would be the best agency to ask, given the July 13th, 2024 situation and the ridiculous aftermath that we still don't really have any answers to, but maybe that's for another video. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to start with this top one here, Sergey, and I'll just take a look at him. Oh yeah, I forgot. The Secret Service's website's not really the greatest. It's not the most user-friendly, really, but yeah, you click on a name and you have to scroll all the way down. Anyway, this dude's got a $10 million bounty on him. The U.S. Secret Service, in partnership with the U.S. Department of State, is offering a reward up to $10 million for information leading to the arrest and or conviction of this individual. Now, there's a catch. He's in Russia, or at least we think. Well, okay, hold on, full stop. He's from Russia originally. We don't know where he's at now. He could be anywhere. And I'll read just the basic summary. Hopefully it's not too extensive because I want to go through a few of these, as I believe that there's 7 that have a significant bounty on their heads in the event that they're captured. So anyway, yeah, he's 5'9", 180 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. He was born in 1980, so he's 45 years old now. Russian, I cannot pronounce any of that. I mean, I could say Sergey. That's about as far as it gets for me. So on September 26th of 2024, so this is recently, the U.S. Attorney's Office, and by the way, he's the top one. He's the number one on this list. U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District of Virginia unsealed an indictment charging Russian national Sergey Servich Ivanov with 1 count of conspiracy to commit and aid and abet bank fraud for providing payment processing support to the carding website Riscador, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit money laundering for laundering proceeds from the carding website Joker's Stash. All right. So Ivanov allegedly operated for approximately 2 decades as one of the longest-running professional cyber money launderers known to the United States government. Good grief, dude. Advertising his services to other cyber criminals on exclusive Russian-speaking criminal forums such as Direct Connection and Mazafaka. Mazafaka. All right, over the years, Ivanov's laundering services and payment systems have catered to major cybercrime marketplaces and ransomware groups, and to prolific hackers responsible for some of the largest data breaches targeting critical U.S. financial infrastructure. Ivanov allegedly created and or operated Russian payment and exchange services, UAPS, PinPays, and PM2BTC, maybe payments to Bitcoin. Don't know. It's just a wild guess. Which provided money transfer and laundering services directly to criminals. In coordination with the indictment unsealing, the U.S. Secret Service obtained court authorization to seize domains associated with UAPS and PM2BTC websites. Ivanov's co-conspirator, Russian national Timur, long name, very long name, known online as Joker Stash and Vega, among other aliases, is also charged in the same indictment for his alleged involvement in the creation and operation of Joker Stash. The prosecution is being handled by the U.S. Attorney's Office, of course, for the Eastern District of Virginia. In addition to the criminal charges, the U.S. Department of the Treasury's Office of Foreign Affairs Assets Control issued sanctions against Ivanov. The U.S. Department of the Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. Good grief, dude. Our federal government is way too fucking big. No wonder we got 3 million people working in the federal government. Also identified PM2BTC as a primary money laundering concern in connection with Russian illicit finance pursuant to Section 9714A of the Combating Russian Money Laundering Act as amended. And we've got links. If you want to dig in further, go into the Ivanov, is that his name? Ivanov rabbit hole. There's some stuff in here. I looks like that's his sanctions, probably his documents, right? Oh, never mind. It's just a freaking press release. But I mean, yeah, there's obviously more information on this dude if you want to look up more. But if you know where he is, and if you know how to get a hold of him, you can get a $10 million payday. And if you're not absolutely retarded with money, that will last you the rest of your life, pretty much regardless of your age, even if you're like 25 years old. If you're not a complete buffoon when it comes to spending money, if you live below your means, which I know, $10 million, that's considerable means, which they're probably going to tax because, of course, they will. But still, I mean, 5 million, dude. Like, for real. That's a hell of a good payday. Anyway, so the next one, we're on Timur. I'm not going to read everything. I mean, that's going to take me like over an hour to go through all that. And I mean, I'll at least display the text on the screen if you don't feel like going to this website yourself. But anyway, Timur Kamelovich, there's no way I'm going to say that. Shakhmamentov. I think I got it. Shakhmamentov. $10 million reward, the Secret Service in partnership with the U.S. Department of State offering a reward up to $10 million for information leading to the arrest and the conviction of this individual. Those are his pictures. That's how he looks, more or less. Born in 1986, so that would make him, what would that be, 39, if I'm not mistaken, I think. Russian citizenship is Russian, and 5'9", 180 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Headquarters, cyber investigative section. By the way, I think everybody on this list, they're all a bunch of cyber criminals. I mean, they're keyboard warriors, which is hilarious. I mean, like the Secret Service has pretty much everybody on this list. It has to do with just cyber crimes, but I mean, it makes sense because the Secret Service, they're tasked with money laundering and things having to do with, obviously having to do with not only money laundering through the internet, but crypto and all that. I'm assuming the Secret Service handles all that now as far as putting together a most wanted list and actually apprehending people internationally for their doings. But so on September 26, 2024, that's the same day as the last dude, wasn't it? U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District of Virginia unsealed an indictment charging Russian national Timur, longer name, for his involvement in the creation and operation of Joker Stash. All right. While Joker Stash was an operation, it offered for sale data from approximately 40 million payment cards annually, totaling hundreds of millions of payment cards overall, and was one of the largest carding markets in history. Damn. Estimates of its profits ranged from 280 to more than $1 billion. Damn, dude. Shakhmamentov is charged with one count of conspiracy to commit and aid and abet bank fraud, one count of conspiracy to commit access device fraud, and one count of conspiracy to commit money laundering. Oh, see, this is a little bit shorter. It's not too bad. Shakhmamentov, co-conspirator, Russian national Sergei, the first guy, also known online as Talion and UAPS, among other aliases, is charged in the same indictment for allegedly laundering the proceeds from Joker Stash. The prosecution is being handled by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Virginia. And we got the links and all that good stuff. So let's check out number 3. Denis Genadevich and Kulkov. Genadevich. All right, anyway, stop fucking around. All right, so $10 million reward. Secret Service in partnership with the U.S. Department of State is offering a reward up to $10 million for information leading to the arrest and or conviction of this asshole. He looks like that, and he looks like that. They could be twinsies. All right, anyway, his name, Nordex. Oh, that's so cool. Or Crinjo. It looks like Kleenex. It's like ghetto Kleenex. And Nordexin. It's like a nasal spray or some shit. All right, May 3rd, 2023. So he's been out there for a couple of years. He's a little more seasoned than the first two. So the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York, I'm not reading all this, by the way, unsealed a 4-count indictment charging Denis with access device fraud, computer intrusion, and money laundering in connection with his operation of Try to Check, the primary service offering card checking to cyber criminals in the stolen credit card trade. I mean, like, dude's no laughing matter, and he's obviously good at what he does because he's, not many people can brag about the fact that they're on the U.S. Secret Service's top most wanted list. But he wasn't quite cool enough to hit the FBI's most wanted list, though. No, that's only reserved for the most badasses of badasses. So the Tried to Check platform catered to cyber criminals who purchased and sold stolen credit card numbers in bulk on the internet, offering criminals the ability to quickly determine what percentage of the cards were valid and active. Interesting. As such, Tried to Check was a primary enabler of the trade in stolen credit card information, processing at least tens of millions of card numbers each year. Oh man, what a dick. As alleged in the indictment and other court filings, Kulkov created Try to Check in 2005, a long time ago, building it into a primary tool of the illicit credit card trade. So it goes into that, a little more in that. Try to Check, it ran tens of millions of credit card checks a year just to make sure they're valid. Yeah, valid and active. So I'm assuming they just charged a fee for checking to see if it's valid. I mean, doesn't really sound like it should be all that illegal if they're just running a credit card through a system just to make sure it's valid. I mean, isn't that basically the same thing that credit card scanners do in every store that you shop at and you swipe your credit card? I'm sure it's one of those steps. It makes sure that it's valid. And then once it determines it's valid, it reaches out to your institution to request the money. But I mean, what do I know? I don't know anything about that. Let's see. The prosecution is being handled in New York, or the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York. Department of State offering $10 million for information leading to his arrest. And there you have it. That was number 3. We're going on to number 4. Vladimir Luyoyevich Diarrhea. And he has a $2.5 million bounty on his head. Secret Service, in partnership with the U.S. Department of State, offering $2.5 million for information leading to the arresting or conviction of this dude. And he's from Belarus. He's not Russian. I mean, he's basically Russian. I mean, come on. He's Russian, basically. But anyway, Belarus, if you want to be all technical about it. And headquartered by the Cyber Investigative Section of the U.S. Secret Service Field Office. And let's see here. On August 12th of 2024, the U.S. Attorney's Office, District of New Jersey, unsealed an indictment charging Belarusian national Vladimir Luyoyevich Diarrhea with conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to commit computer fraud, and 2 counts of substantive wire fraud. Kateria is charged with cybercrime offenses associated with the scheme to transmit the Angler exploit kit and other malware and online scams to the computers of millions of unsuspecting victim internet users through online advertisements, so-called malvertising. You know, I don't think I've ever heard malvertising before. Clever, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't click on anything, so what do I care? Anyway, in other means, from October of 2013 through March 2022, the malvertising campaigns were designed to appear legitimate, but often redirected victim internet users who viewed or accessed the advertisements to malicious sites and servers that sought to defraud the users or delivered malware to the user's devices. The Angler exploit kit was a leading vehicle through which malware was delivered onto compromised electronic devices. Malvertising. I mean, people actually really click on advertisements on the internet. I mean, just to display, like, click here to win whatever. I mean, anything, like an advertisement for friggin' Burger King or whatever. I mean, like, people actually click on that shit. I don't think I've ever clicked on an ad ever. Now, to be fair, I was a teenager in the 90s, like in the late 90s. So I kind of grew up with the early internet, and that was pretty much ingrained into everybody, whether if you were old or young. You don't click on anything, nothing. You don't click on anything. If you want to set up an email, don't use your real name, don't use your real address, don't use a real phone number. Just give it all fake information, because that way, you know, you're not going to get your personal information stolen. But nowadays, everybody just seems to trust the internet no matter what, especially on places like Facebook. Like, people, it absolutely blows my mind the amount of information that people put on things like Facebook. Just every word of every second of their waking life, it's just constantly pouring out on the Facebook. It's like to the point where Facebook knows when you freaking take a dump and go to sleep. It's absolutely crazy. And I believe that they actually do know that. But anyway, let's see. October. Yeah, so I already went through that. His co-conspirators, scareware ads that displayed false messages claiming to have identified a virus or other issue. Man, dude, these dudes are freaking losers, man. To have to try to con people into giving them like fake virus warnings to get them to click on it. It doesn't matter what flashes on your screen, dude. Don't click on anything. Like, for real, don't click on anything. But anyway, let's see. The prosecution is being handled by the U.S. Department of Justice Criminal Division's Computer Crime and Intellectual Property Section and the U.S. Attorney's Office in New Jersey. Because we have millions and millions of departments in the government, because they are so mostly probably not all that necessary. I mean, the FBI probably could handle all this, to be honest. I mean, yeah, they might need a few more guys on their staff, but yeah, whatever. I'll just leave it there. So this dude, Oleksandr Vitalyevich Eremenko, his is actually not too hard to pronounce. Alexander Vitalyevich Eremenko. He is wanted with a $1 million bounty on his head for information leading to the arrest. Or you can receive that if you find out where this dick is. Could be in Ukraine. He's from Ukraine. It's not that surprising. There's a lot of cyber criminals in Ukraine. And he was born in 1991. So that would make him, what, 30, 34? No, almost 34. He'd be 33. Actually, here in just a couple of weeks. He's got a birthday coming up. Let's see here. Alexander is the subject of 2 indictments. The indictment in this, the first matter, alleges that beginning on or about February of 2010, he and other co-conspirators engaged in an international computer hacking and fraudulent securities trading scheme whereby they hacked into the computer networks of MarketWire, PR Newswire, and BusinessWire. They stole confidential press releases containing material non-public information from the victim company's internal computer networks prior to their public release, and they traded ahead of the material non-public information contained in the stolen releases before its distribution. During the course of the scheme, Laremenko and his co-conspirators accessed more than 150,000 stolen releases and executed profitable trades based on the material non-public information contained in the stolen releases. In total, the scheme generated more than $30 million in illicit trading profits. I mean, this dude looks like a hacker. He looks like he's about like the most typical, Reddit 4chan looking hacker dude that I could ever imagine. So on August 10th of 2015, so he's been outstanding for almost a decade, federal grand jury in the District of New Jersey charged Laremenko with wire fraud conspiracy, securities fraud conspiracy, money laundering conspiracy, computer fraud conspiracy, and aggravated identity theft. In other words, if they catch him, he's never, ever, ever getting out of prison. And let's see, I guess I kind of have to read this because this is the second indictment. So the second indictment alleges that on or about February of 2016 through about March of 2017, Laremenko and other hackers in Ukraine were recruited by Artem, long name, not as long of a name, who managed the group's criminal efforts to enrich themselves through sophisticated securities fraud scheme. Laremenko successfully hacked into the computer networks of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, holy shit, and extracted valuable data regarding the financial earnings of publicly traded companies. Damn. Laremenko, yeah, you'd think that their security would be a little better than, than a couple of, rinky-dink Ukrainians hacking into the fucking SEC. So their scheme focused on stealing annual, quarterly, and current reports of publicly traded companies before the reports were disseminated. Many of the stolen reports contain material non-public information concerning, among other things, the earnings of the companies. Oh, well, you know what? That shit should be a fucking public record anyway. So Laremenko and Radchenko sought to profit illegally from the scheme by selling access to the non-public information contained in these yet-to-be disclosed reports and by trading in the securities of the companies before the investing public learned the same information. Okay, so it is public information. It's just not made public immediately. Like they got a hold of the quote unquote public information before it was disseminated to the public, I guess, if I'm reading that right. But anyway, on January 15th of 2019, a federal grand jury, they charged Laremenko with securities fraud and all that other stuff that I just said. So it's being handled by such and such, U.S. Department of Criminal Justice Criminal Division's Computer Crime and Intellectual Property Section and the U.S. Attorney's Office in New Jersey. All right, let's go to the next one here. We are on 3, 4, 5, number 6. So this one is Artem. Artem. Ooh, vaping. It's bad for you. All right, Artem Via Vyacheslavovic. Vyacheslavovic. Radchenenko. Artem. I'm just gonna say Artem. That's easier. Oh, he's a little guy. He's a little itty bitty. But his his bounty ain't itty bitty though. He's got $1 million reward for him for his freaking capture, and of course he's Ukrainian. Well, he's 5'8". I guess he's not all that itty bitty, but I mean he's shorter than average. 135 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Newark headquarters, cyber investigative section. Oh yeah, he was born in 1992, so that'd make him 37, I think, because it's after June now. I think that's 37. I don't know. I've always been really bad with trying to assess age based on birth year or the birth year, especially now that we're in like the 2020s and all these people are born back in the 1900s. So having to figure out the 4-digit thing kind of screws with me. But I don't know. Maybe I got that right, but whatever. So this is the case summary. The indictment in this matter alleges that beginning on or about February of 2016 through... Okay, hold on a minute. So basically the same guy as the Aromanko dude. So I'm not going to read all that again. I mean, you could pause the video and just read it yourself, but it's the same thing I already read. Pertaining to the last one. So they focused on stealing annual, quarterly, and current reports of SEC-related stuff, I'm assuming. So in 2019, federal grand jury in New Jersey charged this dude with securities fraud conspiracy and all that other fun stuff that he's never going to get out of prison if they catch him. And his relevant links, the press release, the U.S. Department of State reward. It's going to be the same, isn't it? I mean, I might as well check if it's right here. Yeah, U.S. Department of State. See, I wasn't aware that they had a top wanted list either. Yep, $1 million reward. Oh man, they even got a poster. They even got a wanted poster for him. Interesting. Yep, U.S. Secret Service, wanted fugitive. All right, so yeah, it's got them both on there. Most wanted at usss.dhs.gov. Or individuals with information. I mean, what if you send them an email saying, I know where they're at, here's the address, oh, I also got their cell phone number, and you just never hear back from them. And then like a week later, they've been apprehended and, no reward coming your way or anything. Like you keep frantically reaching out to them like, what the fuck? I gave you the information. Well, we didn't get an email. We didn't get any information from you. Can you prove that? That would not surprise me if our government were that shady sometimes. I mean, maybe not. I mean, I like to keep a tiny amount of faith in the government, even though I absolutely really shouldn't. All right, so let me go back to, I think it's the last one. If I can find it, click on it. Damn. There we go. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so 7. Only the top 7 have a reward amount. Every other one on this list, I mean, obviously they're on the most wanted list, but for some whatever reason, they don't post a reward amount for any of these other guys. So, I mean, I'll show them all together in a collage so you can at least see the faces. Maybe you'll recognize one, or maybe you might realize, holy shit, that's my neighbor, or something like that. I don't know. But this dude's got the easiest name. Tim. That's it. Just Tim. Timmy! All right, so he's got a $1 million reward. Secret Service in partnership with the U.S. Department of State is offering an award up to $1 million, $1 million, for information leading to the arrest and conviction of him. Drinking beer. He's overweight, pudgy. He's 5'8" too, same height. A little bit below average, but yeah, it's not a small fry, I guess. 200 pounds. Yeah, dude, you can lose some weight. 1978. So what is that? 46. So he's 47, I think now, right? Yeah, I think he's 47. 47. Yeah, I think it's. I'm gonna stick with 47. Maybe I'm wrong, but whatever. So between April of 2014 and March of 2016, Tim was allegedly part of 4 separate conspiracies to traffic in stolen payment card information belonging to the customers of at least 3 different corporate victims located throughout the U.S. In relation to one of the conspiracies and in an attempt to extort one of the corporate victims, Stigall, additionally transmitted a threat to impair the confidentiality of stolen personal data belonging to customers of the corporate victim if a ransom was not paid to Stigall, I don't know. Stigall. He's charged with 4 counts of wire fraud conspiracy, 12 counts of wire fraud. Yeah, dude's never getting out. 1 count of computer fraud extortion, 3 counts of access device fraud, and 3 counts of aggravated identity theft. The prosecution is being handled by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of New Jersey, like most of the others, and the U.S. Department of Justice, Criminal Division's Computer Crime and Intellectual Property Section. And that appears to be that. Yep, they're presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. But if you have any information regarding this individual or any of the other ones, you can contact the U.S. Secret Service at an email, and maybe they'll get back to you, maybe they won't. If it were me, and I'm not recommending anything, it's just a personal opinion. If it were me, I would probably just email saying that, hey, I know at ... whatever name on this list that you know. Here's my number, call me. I would just leave it at that. Don't give them their address or anything in that email, because you're never going to get your payday. It's not going to happen. At least I wouldn't think so. All right. So let me see how I can do this. Let's go back to here and then back one more. I know. There it is. All right. Here's the list. Now I might be able to pull back, but it's going to make the text smaller. So whatever. I'll just kind of all right. There we go. So there's the first 5. There's the 10. See how the million reward, and now all of a sudden it's nothing there. So the next 3 on the list, and they've done all different kinds of crimes. I looked at, like, I think these 3, and I think I looked at another 2, and I just kind of left it at that. But all the ones that I were looking at, they're all involving money, currency, computer fraud, cryptocurrency, scamming, and all that. So I'm assuming that more or less these guys are all probably wanted for computer crimes of all sorts. Those are the next 5. There's the next 5. I mean, dude, they're all Russian, almost. I think they are. I mean, this dude's not. And then that dude's not. Oh, wait, this dude's not either. Alan Esteban Hidalgo Jimenez. He may not be either. He's Ahmed. No, yeah, I doubt Ahmed's Russian. Where the hell's this dude from? Where are you from, Dick? Where are you from? Where you at? Where you at? What? Oh, Morocco. He's Costa Rican. Oh, so it might be in the Western Hemisphere somewhere, maybe. But yeah, old dude's from Morocco. So yeah, not everybody on here is Russian or Ukrainian or Belarus or Romania or whatever, but it looks like obviously the majority of them definitely are. That's for sure. Especially everybody up here near the top. So, but yeah, that's all I got. U.S. Secret Service top wanted list. Millions of dollars. For the top ones, you can get a $10 million payday if you know where the hell they're at and how to get them. So anyway, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.